What's the intro, man?
Bro, I don't know what's the intro. What's
the Alchemist, man? All right, so this is for all y'all that may be lost in the world. I can only tell you what it so far has done for me.
It's interesting. It's a very stark contrast to the book we were reading prior, right? So for those that don't know or do know, we were reading 48 Laws of Power prior, and now we've started The Alchemist. And I feel like it's very different worlds, but there's messages underwritten in this book as well, even in the beginning chapter.
Yeah, most definitely.
Go ahead.
And it's a journey. That's what I like about it. It's a journey, and even when there's a lot of key things in there that I'm like applying to my life, where it's like even the choices that you make, you choose. Do you dwell on something that didn't go right, or do you choose to look at it in a particular way where it's like, listen, I'm in search of something bigger, so I'm not going to get bogged down by the little stuff. Like, these are the things that I was like really applying to my own life.
Oh, when you're talking about, so for I guess everybody that hasn't read or has read, you're talking about when the guy, what was it, Santiago? It was his name?
Yo, that's funny. I don't even know dude's name. Like, I actually was thinking that before we tapped in, but it's I don't know, the sheep herder.
The sheep herder, right? Yeah. So you're talking about when he was referring to like being a shepherd, right? When he was like, I'm gonna go and you know, I think his father his father was the one that stayed and didn't live his life, I guess. The book was saying.
Pops was and Pops did something dope, man. And because Santiago was like a lot of young kids, they trying to explore, and I feel like this taps into a lot of different things. Like when you see with kids, even like for me, I always think about, like, as young kids, we always think that we could be superheroes, that we have these audacious goals that we can accomplish, and we just know that we can. And then it's like every year, every month, every day that goes by, it's like we start to put a ceiling, or we'll call it like we get more realistic. But in all actuality, we're just not believing in ourselves. We're not believing that we can accomplish all these things that we once set out. We just look at the world differently. We don't use our imagination, all these different things. And his pops, even when he was talking about traveling, he's like, a lot of people travel, but they end up, when they come, just like Santiago wanted to travel other places and find beauty in other places, his dad was saying people in other places come here and they find the most beauty here.
Yeah.
But his pops said, like, yo, you need to go experience life. And then once you experience life, you'll realize that this is the most beautiful place with the most beautiful women right here. But he didn't when Santiago said that he wanted to go out and explore, he didn't shut it down. He gave him his savings.
I think he gave him bread. Yeah, he gave
him bread. He said, you know, go purchase your flock. And Santiago said that in his dad's eyes, he could see that there was something in him where, even though he was telling Santiago, like parents do, just do the safe thing, he was proud, and you could tell like he actually wanted to do a lot of those things that Santiago would for. So my bad. You go ahead.
No. All good, man. I think that it's very relatable in today's society and world as well, right? Like, you have some parents that kind of try to shield you from the world, but then you also have those that have been across the world themselves or have experienced the world themselves, and in turn they know how to move, right? Like, they know, like Santiago's dad, I think he said he didn't travel the world, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't. But he was like, I can't tell you that. Like, I can't tell you this is the best place to live. I can't tell you this is the best place to be. You got to go see that the grass isn't greener somewhere else to understand that your grass is green. Like, or I guess to really say it, like, the grass is greener where you water it. That's kind of where I took. That's kind of what I took from it. Like, but I also big up to Mr. Santiago. Like, you know, it takes a lot of guts to go at that age, you know, at a young age, to want to go explore the world too. Because sometimes you just be like, hey man, like, I just want to stay home. I don't want to deal with this, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people, and especially even when you think about his journey, to me, it was a metaphor with life. A lot of people turn around.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people turn around. And even where fast forward into the end of part one, where I think he's in the shop and he's cleaning the crystal. And he's like, yo, let me clean crystals for the rest of the day. I need to make some money so I can get to Egypt. And he's like, bro, you could work all day today, tomorrow, next month, next year, and you still wouldn't get enough money to go to Egypt. And his mindset is like, that's where there's so many different points in our life where we could easily just say, you know what? I know I wanted this goal, but it's getting too hard. You know, it's getting too inconvenient. We can come up with all these excuses that life will give us and give us an out. Like, yo, come over here. Like, you don't got to do all that. And a lot of times we'll just say, you know what? I'm cool with just where I'm at. I'm good, you know?
Become complacent, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like that was low-key a metaphor for corporate America. If I'm not too overanalyzing it, you know what I mean? Like,
I like that. You know,
that kind of, you know, the goal or the dream that corporate America sells you. Like, everybody growing up has a dream. Everybody graduating high school, graduating has a dream, has a goal, has a vision. And then you get that first job, regardless of what it is, right? You get that first job, you touch a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying? Then, hey, you got meetings all day. Hey, can you start? You know, it slowly adds on, like, hey, can you work late tonight? Hey, can you do this? Oh, you gotta talk to us before you put in your PTO. And then, you know, you see that goal and you're like, okay, I'm still gonna try and strive for that goal, or I'm gonna strive for that promotion. I'm gonna strive for becoming a vice president. But then, hey man, can you get this project done? It needs to be done next week.
Yeah.
Can I mean, it's just that cycle, right? That rat race, I think it's called, right? You just get sucked into like meetings, calls, working. And again, it doesn't matter what profession or what industry. You know, a lot of people, the saying goes, what? You start working and then you blink and boom, 5 years have gone by, right? I felt like it was just one of those where, like he said, you can clean today, tomorrow, you're not gonna buy that ticket.
Yeah. And it's like we call it a rat race. As I'm watching, there's another metaphor. It's the sheep walk. You know what I'm saying? Just like the father, you looking at the father and what he does is more taking the corporate structure where a lot of young kids, we want to do this. We want to become entrepreneurs. We want to be creative. We want to use our imagination, but we choose to just go with, hey, this is what dad did. This is great. This is the safe route. That's the same thing that the sheep were doing.
Yeah.
They take the safe route. They're only concerned with, how do I put food on the table? How do I, you know what I mean? Like that's the safe route mentality. Yeah. And even there was it's funny you brought it. I underlined as I was reading where they was talking about the sheep, and he said, they trust me and they've forgotten how to rely on their own instincts because I lead them to nourishment. To me, that's what corporate is. Like, I'm going to give you this check every week so you'll forget about your dreams. You'll forget about all those things, all how you used to look at yourself as that superhero. Nah, you're just going to be this pawn. But we're going to pay you to the point where, you know, you got a comfortable life. We figure it out. We're going to pay you just enough so you don't think about all those other things that you used to be focused on. That's how I see it. Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of this whole thing. Like, as I'm reading it, I'm creating my own story in my mind. Like, oh, all right, well, maybe this is the reason why this happens in my, you know what I mean? Like, that's,
I feel like it's also relatable for bro, because a lot of us, especially nowadays, take the road less traveled. That used to be less traveled, right? A lot of us realize like our lives weren't a straight road, our lives weren't a straight path. Like, he didn't just, you know, go one day and get up and go to Egypt. He got a flock. He got now he's cleaning. Now he's getting, he's trying to earn a little bit of bread. Now he's, he's realizing it's not a straight road. There's a lot of twists and turns and loops. And I couldn't help but relate that to myself. Like, dang, like it took a lot to get where we are today. And I found myself pausing at a certain point to just be like, good job. Like, Patrick, you know what I'm saying? Like, I patted myself on the back. Like, I'm like, I don't know why I'm patting myself on the back right now, but like, good job. Like, we got a lot going, you know?
Like, people always say, like, everything happens. As I'm reading this, it's like everything happens for a reason. He's choosing to see it from that perspective. Yeah. If you see it for that perspective, like, you could lose your job tomorrow and it's be like, nah, that's for a reason. Because and when you put that mindset on, now I'm gonna take away, even from this loss, I'm gonna figure out all the lessons. I'm gonna drain as many lessons as I can from that loss, learn from that situation, and apply it to the next. So either way, as long as I'm gaining something from whatever experience I go through, whether good, bad, who knows, I'm now able to apply that to the next step, to where now I can make sense of it and say, hey, that was just a part of the journey. Like there's a reason for everything. You know what I mean? So everything really
Yeah.
does happen for a reason. We just decide. We get to decide if it's for a reason, or we get to decide what reason it's for.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah. What you think about the whole personal legend? Like that's kind of when he was talking about that.
Explain it for everybody real
Yeah.
quick.
So with the personal legend, this is when the king of Salem, the king he thought was coming to him. Who knows if he's really a king? Who knows? But he said this king came up to him, and they were having a conversation, having some exchanges, and he was wondering, like, yeah, why is this king coming up to me? And I'll read part of it. He said, for several reasons, but let's say the most important is that you have succeeded in discovering your personal legend. The boy didn't know what a person's personal legend was. It's what you have always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. And let me read a little bit more. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn for everything they would like to see happen to them in their lives. But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them that it will be impossible for them to realize their personal legend. Like, to me, I just hear purpose, man. Like, or just whatever it is you decide you're going to do with your life, what you're going to get out of life. Make that decision when you're at your highest height, when you have your most amount of self-confidence. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, and you're accessing your most your imagination in the biggest, brightest way. Because other than that, you're always going to sell yourself short. So it's like things come to people. Like energy is real. If you put out the type of energy where you know, you're flowing at this frequency compared to this frequency, then the things that are going to happen in your life, you're going to see through this frequency lens, and you're going to attract other people that are on that thing and other things that are on that frequency. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, right?
Your personal legend, bro. Your personal legend. Like that's something we should think about every day.
Yeah, when you know your purpose, you're aligning yourself with those things that are in your purpose, right?
Yeah.
And you could say the same frequency. We could make that comparison, right? When you're on the same frequency and as others, or the same frequency as your goal, everything on that frequency is aligned, and that is what you're going to be, collaborating with. Yeah, that's what you're going to be aligning yourself with. I think it's so easy in life to forget your legend, to forget your purpose. And
life beats it out you.
Yeah. And I felt like the king came to him. He was like, oh, why is the king coming to me? But the king came to him because I felt like it was like a big up, like good on you, man. Like, good on you. Because I don't remember what it said exactly in the sense of the king himself. The way I took it was that the king realized he doesn't, and I could be misinterpreting completely, but I feel like so many of us lose our legend or lose sight of how to find our own legend. So when the king recognized him, he was bigging him up like, I don't have that sight. I don't have that ingenuity anymore. I see that in you and I salute you. I tip my hat to you. That's the way I kind of took it too.
Yeah.
Because it's so many, like, even in life, like people do lose their legend, right? They lose way of their legend, however you want to phrase it. But when you look at somebody that's in their purpose, when you look at somebody that's living in their element, you can see it 100%. Like you see it like that. Like, oh, that person, that's his purpose. That's their purpose. That's her purpose. They are living in their frequency, in their element, right? And you can identify it immediately. And I think that's what the king did.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see certain people, you see certain things in certain people. Yeah. And a lot of times people who have more experience than us, they can identify certain things in us that we can't even identify in ourselves. And who knows if, and even as you're talking, like, who knows if that's a real king? Who knows? But I'm glad that he's moved. I mean, all we heard is that he had like that gold-plated chest plate or something like that. Who knows? And it's like, it's funny because it's like, it just goes to show you, even looking in our times, we identify somebody's dressing in a certain way. They're wearing expensive things. So now, oh yeah, that's a king. You know what I mean? But that's over there. But everybody should feel like they're the king. Everybody should feel like they're the king of whatever, their castle, their whatever. You should have that confidence, or at least move with a a mindset that I have king potential. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, you're not a king, cool, but this is the path that I'm on. This is the trajectory. So I really liked it. I really liked every bit of it. It's crazy how many different like metaphors, how many different lessons, how many questions, and how it just forces you. This book forces you to self-reflect.
Yeah.
It brought me back. Like it brought me back.
Like reading this book, you have no choice but to one, self-reflect, but two, correlate it to modern day or your current circumstances.
Yeah. I highlighted something at the end where I don't even know what page this is on. I guess we should start saying the pages. Page 45. And this to me was like this probably I don't want to say the biggest takeaway, but it definitely is something that I think about on a regular basis. And I'll just read it. As he mused about these things, he realized that he had to choose between thinking of himself as the poor victim of a thief and as an adventurer in the quest of his treasure. So he was choosing between, I just got robbed, I just got finessed, but am I going to look at this as I'm the poor victim of a thief, or I'm an adventurer? I'm an adventurer in a quest for this treasure. Like this is just part of it. Of course, I got to explore different things. Of course, I got to be vulnerable. I'm looking for something. So somebody may try to take advantage. They may get me. I'm looking for something. I'm searching for something. And then it says, I'm an adventurer looking for treasure. He said to him, looking for treasure. He said to himself, he chose. And even when he was given the 2 marbles, I think it was 2 marbles to help him make a decision.
Right.
The guy still, I think that was the king that gave him to him. I'm not sure. But whoever gave it to him, they said like, but you choose. You make sure that you're choosing. Use this. Be careful with this, but you choose.
Low key, it was giving me red pill, blue pill vibes. I'm not gonna lie, it was giving me red pill, blue. Like you choose. This is your choice. You know what I mean? But overall, what it also like I related to it was I think it was in a Joe Rogan podcast. Funny enough. But his mentality, it took me to a quote that Joe Rogan had said. He was just the high level of it was, if your life was a movie and you were the main character, what would you do? How would you view your circumstances? What would you do different today? What would you do different the rest of today? And that kind of took me where his mindset was going. Like I could be the victim or I could be the main character in my own movie type energy. That's what it was giving me.
Yeah. I like that. And you look around at what's going on in today's society. There's plenty. We always get reasons to see ourselves as victims. There's plenty of reasons. Like you can, if you want to see yourself as a victim, the world, society, especially living in America right now, culture, you're going to have all the ammunition you need to see yourself as a victim.
Man, you don't get me started, because you can play yourself as a victim, a fiddler. Like you're depressed, oh, you're rightly so, because you work so hard. Or you're anxious, oh my God, because you do this. No, instead, me, I'm like, let's get it done. You're feeling anxious. What's the problem that's caused you to feel anxious? Let's go solve that problem.
Get to work. Okay. You got too much time on your hands.
You're depressed. You got
too much time. Like, damn, you got enough time to be thinking about. And obviously, we're not talking. Some people are clinically depressed.
Medically, diagnosed.
But listen.
I'm talking about
in a society where everybody's depressed.
I'm talking about
there's a curve.
They woke up this morning and said that I'm depressed today. Like,
I say the majority of people. And even if you are clinically depressed, I guarantee you, if you are clinically depressed watching this, I don't even want to say challenge you, but I would ask you challenge you. Yeah, I think that's a good thing for people who are depressed, for people who are going, get challenged to do more work, to find your personal legend and work from that mindset and work in that space and work towards that. And I would just like to know if your depression improves, if you get out of your depression, or if you go into a deeper depression. I would like to think that your thoughts, your mental health would improve. Because Shit, we all been depressed. We all like,
Man,
you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
not a doctor, but I could cure the depression right now. I'll tell you the cure right now. You know what it is? It's not what to do with the book. So sorry, guys, but if you depressed, you feel anxious, you feeling, some type of way. I'm just gonna put it in layman's terms because this is how I heard it. Like Nip said it. Like you feeling depressed, best thing I can tell you, go touch a little bit of money. See if you still feel depressed. Tell me you feel depressed after you touch a little bit of money. Because either the journey or the outcome will change your outlook and change your mental state. One or the other is guaranteed.
And the only people that should be pushing back or have the ability to push back on what Mir just said is if you're touching a lot of money. And maybe if you're touching a lot of money and you're still depressed, go back to the personal legend.
I'm about to say, yeah,
go back to your purpose.
And touch some more. Yeah.
Go touch some more and go lean into your purpose. Like hey, go run a marathon. Like for real, challenge yourself. Pick something that challenges you in an area that's going to help you, whether it's helping you with your health, whether it's helping you with your confidence, whether it's helping you learn new things,
or even skills. like me and you were talking about earlier, DAC, our not new venture, but our new avenue that me and Dagger explained. Go study philanthropy. Go give back.
Go help somebody. You already made it. You so depressed because you made it. Yeah. Go help somebody. Go pick somebody up.
Go help somebody that's not doing as good as you and tell me you still feel depressed.
Yeah. Helping people, like that's like one of the most healing and rewarding things. So even like from a selfish standpoint, go help somebody and see how good you feel about life. Depressed, man. We're gonna flag this. Flag it.
You're gonna get both flagged.
So that's part one for real. We may end up doing this in 3, maybe 4. I think it's only
a couple parts. Not that big of a book.
I think there's 3 parts and maybe an epilogue. I don't know. Either one. For those that are listening, if y'all want to tap in on the second part, hit us up.
It's a good book.
I'm excited to learn more.
It's a good book, and I would love to hear more opinions other than me and you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Me and you have similar viewpoints. We sometimes contradict each other, but I know there's so many interpretations, so many different ways you could take this book. Just off this one part, me and you have like what? How many metaphors, analogies, comparisons? Like that's just what we took from it. So would love to hear some more opinions and some more thoughts.
Yeah, that's the dope thing about books, man. Everybody's journey reading the same exact thing.
Oh yeah,
based on your interpretation is going to be different.
Like this is completely off topic, but somebody recently I had a conversation with on that point. Was talking about Star Wars. We were talking about Star Wars, and I'm like, "Oh, you never watched Star Wars? Like, it's a great movie. Oh, it's about droids and stars and Jedis." And they're like, "That's crazy." I always thought it was a love story between the guy and the girl. I'm thinking like, yo, I never thought of it like that. Like completely, like my mind was like completely the whole other.
Say it again.
So we were talking about Star Wars, and he's like, I'm like, yo, like I look at it like this, and they have a whole Disney, and I'm complaining about how there's not enough movies and there's shows and this one, and they have so much, and it's such a good thing about Jedis and pew 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 and droids. And he's like, I thought it was about a love story about how dude loves a girl and like he chases her, he becomes Darth Vader because he wants to be with her. And I'm like, I thought he wanted to be Darth Vader because he was tired of it.
Dang, see, I gotta brush up on Star Wars, man. I was
never. It was just that one comparison that completely. Like, I'm looking at it like A, he's looking at it like B.
Perspective, yeah.
Yeah, man.
You get to choose. You get to choose, yeah. You get to choose. That's the free will. That's that you get to choose, man.
This book got us thinking about it.
You're right. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Yeah. So choose wisely, man. Life is really just decisions. You want to get up early? You can. If not, you don't have to. You want to work all day? You don't have. Like, this is just decisions. Just decisions. All right. Part 2, I guess we'll see everybody next week. We'll see y'all soon, man. Amir, you want to give us any? Well, you just gave us a little outro. You want to add anything else?
Part 2 next week, same time.
What you looking forward to? What you looking forward to in part 2? I mean, obviously we haven't read it, but
I want to see this journey, man. I'm interested in the journey. Like, does he accomplish his goal? Does he accomplish his journey? Does he fall? Does this book just go left and he just completely go left and have another, another story, meet another king, and like his goal goes out the window? Or like, do we get to see his goal and his travels?
I want to see what he's built for. I want to see if he runs into Shorty, if she's married or not.
Yeah, I want to say, but I'm like, does he get Shorty again?
I want to see what he's built for. I want to see what he's built for. I want to see if his personal, like what's his personal legend going to mold into, if he's going to make it to Egypt, if he's going to chase his treasure, is he going to wake up and realize, you know what, this little sweetheart, this is my true treasure. Like that. I want to see, what happens. 100%. I want to see what happens in this love story so I can figure out what I'm gonna do on my own. You know what I'm saying? I might have to cut some cut off some fat, you know what I'm saying? Nah, let me stop. But yeah, man. So y'all let us know if y'all want to join in. Hit us up, DM, phone number, text, whatever however y'all can get in contact with us. Leave a comment. And we'll reach back out to you. On that note, we shall see y'all soon.
Next week.
Over and out.
Ew.
Ew. Ew.